Hello, welcome to Visual Radio. It is, I think it's a Tuesday, right, Bob?
Yes.
Tuesday, the last day of July 2012. City Councilor Robert Penta is here. Hello, Bob.
Good afternoon.
You having a good summer?
Yep, so far.
You just got married.
Yes, I did.
Where'd you go for the honeymoon?
Well, we split the honeymoon up in half. First half of it was down in Miami, Florida, a little bit outside of Miami, halfway down to halfway down to the Keys, a place called Hawks Cay.
Nice.
And then a relative of ours was getting married in Mexico as a destination wedding, so we decided to split it up when we came back home, waited a couple of weeks, and went to Mexico.
So you did the destination wedding thing, which
Yes.
is becoming in vogue now.
It's different. It was hot. It was different. It was nice. It was a nice family affair.
On Thursday night, I'm on live Thursday nights here.
Okay.
And at the end of the show, the last 10 minutes we do with Frank Delastrito from Texas, and his son had a destination wedding in Hawaii. So he'll call from Hawaii, Alaska. Him and his wife, they go all over the country. But we do the public domain movies on Friday night.
Okay.
So he calls in. But you're the second destination wedding I've heard of recently.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Now, we're in Winchester, obviously, and you've been a city councilor in Medford for many years. Are there issues with the residents on the borders, like, say, Winchester, Arlington, Everett, Stoneham? Are there ever things that come up to the council?
As borderline issues?
Yeah, border, residents, this with maybe working in concert, or maybe there's some kind of beef.
I think the only thing that has come up that probably is of notoriety is when any one of the councils, including myself, would decide to make a comparison or analogy to what they might do in another city or another town. And then you always have to remember, this is Medford. It's not Lexington, it's not Arlington or Winchester or Maltin or whatever it might be. Everyone's issues are different. It's how they address the issues and correct them, and that becomes the concern. And again, you have 7 councils, you have 7 thoughts, and sometimes it gets hairy and sometimes it's uniform.
Now, the next council meeting is in August.
Yep, next Tuesday, August 7th.
So it's coming up quick.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to address, of course. We've got this DPW thing now. The yard has been sitting there for years.
The yard has been sitting there for years. I believe it was in 2008 when Councilor Marks introduced a review by a state agency that basically noted a whole bunch of issues that needed correction, from asbestos in the building, to floors and ceilings, to walls, a whole host of things. And at that point in time, it was given to the city of Medford, and as we speak now, 2012, more than 4 years later, none of those issues have been addressed. Unfortunately, earlier in January of this year, the mayor of Medford decided he wanted to do something with the city yards, fire department, police department, a whole host of issues to be included. I think, and it's not that the council is not willing to entertain it. I just think, council has their thoughts too. And it's been 23, 24 years under the same leadership of the present administration that these issues have basically multiplied. And, we have asked for these to be reviewed and looked at. The state has come in there and told them they need to be addressed. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point right now that I guess it's been condemned or thereabouts. I don't know. Mayor hasn't called me to tell me. This is what I hear, from my colleagues. So we still have issues to be addressed as it relates to, it's a great location. We had said way back when it could be a beautiful spot for a megaplex. Sure. A large, area. All those properties, fire department, the police department, and the public works department, they could all be, sold off as commercial pieces of property. The sale of the property, the income from the property could help pay for the new locations or staying there. Let's take a look. Do we stay? Do we go? Police chief has said on numerous occasions, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, he could go anywhere. There's a nice piece of property in Mystic Avenue to be looked at. It's 41,000 square feet. You could add a little bit further. Opposite where the old Golden Egg is, there's a huge piece of property on there. You probably could put everything down there. It's not a matter of whether you want to accept or reject. I think we should just be looking at everything before you make this decision. Let's go out and spend $10 million to do a new city yard. Let's go out and spend another maybe $15, $20 million to bring a state-of-the-art police department in. And I think that would be a very reckless way to go using taxpayers' money. Again, I'll repeat, I just think, we should be looking at all the options and alternatives, You know, and I think the mayor should sit down with the council to hear it.
Now, I didn't know that the police chief had said that, and that's what I was thinking. Mystic Ave, the old Staples, because you've got all those, you can go up to 93, you've got the Meadow Glen.
You get Staples, you also have, like I said, the 41,000 square foot piece of property, which is right opposite the place that sells all your bathroom equipment and stuff like that. I can't
Right.
think.
But you're not in the square where there's a congested area for the cop cars.
Right.
Which, you know,
Right.
I think it is time for that whole thing to be, and that revitalizing the square, wouldn't that be a key component?
I don't know where they're going with this whole issue of revitalizing the square, but you drive down there at nighttime, it's dark, the lighting isn't as safe as it should be. For example, we just had an experience this past Saturday night. This is the third one that I'm aware of, when the mayor decided to change the ring road and spend $1.5 million by doing it and putting 39 parking spaces out on the street. I personally thought, and I think some of my colleagues agreed, I know some of the business folks agree, that this could present itself as a very dangerous situation, because what you're doing now is you're parking on the street, you're having the cars parked to the left, so you're getting out of the car or passengers on the right-hand side. We've already had one of my colleagues, Councilor Longo Kern, her partner got in an accident because of somebody, when they were trying to pull out, they weren't being cautious. And then they put a bike path on that same road, and that's okay. But that squeezes the main road down, and that, you know, and this Saturday night, from the way the story goes, someone went around the corner and somebody was getting out of the car and they just knocked the door right off the car. Lucky they're alive. You know, it's things like that that really we should be concerned about, because it's public safety issues. You know, you can call revitalization anything you want. For example, the parking garage. The mayor was so insistent on having a parking garage on Governor's Avenue that was only going to increase from 73 to 200 parking spaces for almost $8 million, and the height of it, knowing that the next door piece of property, you know, there would be a potential lawsuit, a whole host of issues. But there's been no traffic enforcement for years in Medford. You know, it's been asked for by the council. As a matter of fact, the mayor had his own committee set up for which you put the chief of police on it, and Councilor Marks was the council representative. They submitted the report, I think it was in 2009. And here it is, 2012.
It's a long, long time.
3 years later, and there's still nothing, you know?
Now, a parking garage on Ring Road with businesses on top of it, is that feasible?
Ring Road or Governor's Ave?
Ring Road.
Ring Road. I don't know.
If you put the parking garage...
It's a thought, you know? Right now, they keep saying you have the Harvard Pilgrim Hill. It's a free parking garage over there. It has the capacity to go up one more floor.
Okay.
You have the owner on Forest Street, who owns the building where the dry cleaners used to be, next to the post office. Mm-hmm. Again, thought process was, hey, work out a deal, come in, knock the building down, put a parking garage there, businesses on the first floor, a flying buttress that basically takes you right to Chevalier Auditorium.
I like it.
You know, and no response, not going to do it, and blah, blah, and all of that, and it becomes frustrating. I mean, you have these thoughts. Now, whether you want to agree or disagree, let's sit down and discuss it. Let's find out what this is going to cost. Let's see if this thing can work. It's nowhere anywhere even near there.
2 points on a business meeting I was in last night. When I'm coming home from it, and I'm thinking of our interview because I'm going by St. Joseph's, and it wasn't just dark, Bob.
Yeah.
It's pitch dark at the Condon Shell.
Right.
I mean, it was scary.
Well, that's another issue, and I think you've been following that. I think I've had 9 resolutions on the Condon Shell. Okay? Why would you turn around and take, I think, approximately 39 or 40 parking spaces away? You spent 5,000 square feet to put perfect sod, and then you have an irrigation system, but you have no lights in there, especially at nighttime. I think I brought up 3 examples. One where a lady was deathly afraid to get into her car at nighttime. She told her husband. Another time, it's a great place if you want to do drugs, because you can have all kind of drug deals go there at nighttime.
It's the Black Forest.
Yeah, it is.
It's
dark. You know, and this isn't to bring up everything that's negative. These are issues that are everyday, common sense issues that need to be addressed. I mean, why would you build and take over a parking lot and not provide, you know, the lighting for it? But you have to do the plowing for it at the winter time. You know, I mean, it's